Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Adam's TV Podcast. I am your host, Adam Samuel, and today we are talking about top 14 week of American Idol. We are going to be going over both performances, the results, everything. There's a lot to go over. Some very sad things for me to go over in my coverage of the season. But joining me for it all is my co-host Eric. How you doing today, Eric?
I'm doing better than you, probably.
I'm a little bummed. Just a little bit bummed.
Just a little, yeah. Here's what we'll get to it later, but I'm not mad about any of the cuts.
Well, let's actually get into that because that's actually kind of the big story from this episode, these two episodes. So we come into this week with 14 contestants. We leave with 10. The people we lose are Riley, Eddie, Evelyn, and don't make me say it, Eric.
Ashley.
Yes.
Ashley. Did you ever play WarioWare?
No, I didn't, but I'm so bummed. First of all, I just want to point out the ratio of this top 10 is like all out of whack. There are 7 guys and 3 girls.
It's hashtag total sausage fest.
I was expecting both, like 2, if not all of the wild cards to be used on women just to even the playing field a little bit. Like, we're resting it all on Lacey and Madison.
So you just completely wrote off Alyssa right there, right?
Well, let's talk about Alyssa for a second because going into this week, I thought she was a goner. Like I'm like,
yeah, so did I.
And there were some parts where I was like, okay, I have a little bit more faith in you now, but never in my wildest like theorizing of this season did I think we would leave this week still with Alyssa and having lost Ashley. That blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy we have Alyssa. I'm still a huge fan of hers, and I'm happy she's still in the competition. But come on, I lost. Ashley was like my favorite.
She was your second pick.
She was my second pick. How are we even doing at the draft? You had Riley. Who did you have, Eric?
Well, I lost Riley. I think I had Eddie, right? Yeah, I had Eddie.
I guess the playing field's still even, right? I had Ashley. I think I had Evelyn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did. So
I had Evelyn.
We're even.
All right. So I've expressed
but
that
you lost your higher pick when I did. So
well, I think your second pick though is going to be in a bit of trouble in the next couple of weeks. But I want to pass this question over to you, Eric. Do you think they got it right? Do you think these are the correct top 10?
Do I?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the results?
Honestly, ish. I mean, it's close enough. I didn't lose anyone I particularly care about, so.
Yeah, we didn't really lose the biggest names of the season. Like if we lost like Jeremiah or Lacey, like we kept the big players. But I can't deny how bummed I am that Ashley didn't make it. I would have my ideal scenario would have been we drop Wade and we put Ashley in, and that would be my ideal top 10. But 9 out of 10 isn't that bad, but still I'm so gutted over.
Okay, I'm gonna drop my pun now. Ready? So Wade might have waded into the top 10, but he won't go deep.
Oh God.
I'm so proud of that. I'm sorry.
Well,
that's something that if you said, by the way, I would be out of here.
I got to tell you, like, I have the most notes of the season for this episode. Like, it just goes on and on. So there's going to be a lot we're going to get through today. But the first thing I kind of want to start off with at the top of the show, as I always do, I want to give a shout out to, we are on iTunes. You could find us there. Feed burner everywhere. Eric puts a lot of effort into putting those together. If you could check us out there, it would really help us out. And it's if you want to listen to us on the go and you want to listen to my sweet, poor syllable sounding voice while you're going for a drive. Eric, Thank you so much for doing that.
Okay, no problem.
All right. First thing I wanted to point out. There I go. I can't even talk. But
my pun just totally destroyed you. It's so great. Keep going.
I'm so sorry. But this is something I started to notice this episode, and I think it's been going on in the past, and it probably means nothing, but it's like always got my attention, and I'm thinking something's going on. Have you noticed, Eric, that during the beginning of the episode, the judges always have like a card in their hand? Like, did that ever happen in the past? Like, it probably means nothing, but I'm always like, they're standing there with this card, and I'm like, what's in the card? What do you have thoughts about it?
Notes.
They don't remember any of their names, do they? Like Katy Perry goes home and she's like,
"Oh, that's
who
so
are these
great."
people?
Simon doesn't remember names.
Did that ever happen in the past? Did we ever have like the people literally like they're so transparent about it? Like you see, they're like smiling and they're holding this card. I've never noticed it before though.
You know what? Better to be transparent than just to pretend that. Oh wait, no, they're not transparent because Katy Perry said that we made all the decisions ourselves.
Yeah, let's talk about the judges because they're adding absolutely nothing to this season, and it's gotten to a bit of a burning point to this episode.
Adding nothing, they're subtracting from certain.
Yeah, I feel like the judges have kind of been relegated to like a cheerleader role. Like, I don't know if you watch like The Walking Dead, but after the show airs, they always have this post show where they kind of recap it, and they never say a single negative thing about the show. It's always like positive. It's like a cheerleader show. And that's what the judges are for American Idol. Like they're not adding anything. They're not like
it's like Nintendo Power. Talk about Nintendo games. Because I was watching an Angry Video Game Nerd episode. He said, this game had that distinctive LJN style. And I laughed so hard at that line.
It just bums me out because the judges have a role in this competition. Like they're supposed to be doing something.
That's a reference by way of like 2 people. So I'm proud I dropped it.
I'm sorry, Eric. I don't
know. Not your reference, my reference.
Okay. Well, otherwise, while we're talking about before we go live on these podcasts every week, I always spend some time kind of putting together my notes. I spend like a good hour and a half, Jonna, just rewatching everything, putting them together. And I also go to all these different sites to kind of see like what other people are seeing to get some of my thoughts together also. And one thing that that just is starting to really bug me. This is such a minor thing, Eric, and you're probably going to like call me out for it, but I always go to tvline.com, which was a site that back in the old Idol days of Michael Slezak, I would always go there. His column would be one of the first things I would read once the episode finished airing. And Michael Slezak is no longer doing the panels there. And they have this new person, and I don't know who it is, but every performance they're giving A's. Like everyone's getting an A. And it's bothering me so much, Eric. Are you familiar with these podcasts? With not the podcast, the articles?
I remember Slezak's article. Slezak was a very notoriously difficult grader who I very rarely agreed with, but always respected. But
you should check out like everything is just A's, and I'm like,
I'll look at it later.
And it's just like
gold star,
gold star for everyone. You get a Good Noodle Award.
Oh, that's what we came up with it for the end of the episode, by the way.
The Good Noodle Award. Yes. I wanted to mention this at the end of the Adams TV podcast coverage this episode and every episode moving forward. We are going to have an award given out to the best performance of the night. So we're both going to give our own award to the contestants. And I don't know if anyone's still going to be around by the end, but yeah, it's going to be called. What's it going to be called, Eric?
You just named it the Gold Noodle Award.
The Golden Noodle. All right. Well,
I'm not going to be able to top that. So,
all right. Well, let's talk about this round because going into this week, Ryan Seacrest, he with the transparent note card, which he seems to always hold, but he gets a pass because he would always hold the note card. He said that this is one of the strongest batch of contestants that we've had in years, and they say this on every show. Every single show, they say America's Got Talent, The Voice. This is the best talent ever. And this week, going into the week, I was feeling, yeah, there might be some truth to it. It could be. And then this week kind of happened, and it didn't happen. Right, Eric?
Well, I wasn't thinking it before this week. So, points.
I don't know. I think it all really came down to song choices for a lot of these contestants because they were good song choices. A couple
of them could not have had have the right strategy, but just aren't talented enough to pull
I was going to say it was good idea, but not as good execution. Like the idea is there. Like, I'm glad you're thinking this way, but for most cases it didn't land correctly, which is just another thing. This was a rough week for a bunch of these contestants. A lot of them that I had high hopes for that kind of maybe weren't able to deliver. But on this topic, we followed the same format as we did last season. We had the 14 contestants perform, but this time it was 7 contestants that go through. Last year, I think it was 6, and then we get the wild cards. I want to ask Eric, last year we had a bit of a wild card purge in the following weeks after the first live show. Yeah. Do you think we're going to follow that same format here this year?
I think so.
Do you think any of them have a shot of the wild cards that made it through?
Of winning?
Of going deep. I'll put it that way.
Nope. I don't.
I think
at most they'll last till week 3, but they'll all be gone before the second to last week.
Yes. I'm going to agree. We'll talk about the wild cards a little bit later, but for now, let's start to get into these contestants, shall we, Eric?
Okay.
All right. Well, first up, like I said, here's how this is going to work. We are going to... Did I mention this earlier, Eric?
You did not, but I'll tell it.
All right, so you can go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to go in Sunday's performance order. We're going to talk about both performances for each contestant.
Yes, so...
For the 10, I'm going to talk about both, but for the 4 who got cut, I didn't watch Monday's performances, so...
So what we're going to do is we're going to, like, if Lane Hardy is up, we are going to be covering his entire body of work for this week going forward. That's going to be kind of how we're going to run this moving forward.
It's easier for me to edit.
I'm Hannah Bound in the chat says, hey guys, Maddie is singing on Idol on Sunday. Yes. I believe she's singing a duet with Caleb. And she posted a picture that I think she said was like a hint. And it was her and Caleb doing like a kind of an American Gothic kind of like pose. I don't know what that means. Do you have any clue, Eric?
Nope.
All right. Well, anyway, let's get down to it. Let's talk about our first contestant of the night, shall we?
Sure.
All right. Well, let's kick it off with Lane Hardy. He is our last season returnee, along with Alyssa Ragu. First up, he is performing "That's All Right, Mama" by Elvis. His second performance is "Hurricane" by Band of Heathens. Eric, what did you think about Lane this week?
Sunday's performance was not my thing at all, plain and simple. I have to say, though, Monday was much better. Not my favorite, not close to my favorite. I did like Monday's. Your turn.
For me, this week was just... I'm starting to get the vibes of Scotty. I'm reminded of Scotty whenever I see Lane. This is kind of his performance. Maybe it's just his archetype that he could just kind of sail right by. Like he's just like smooth sailing from now. Like everything's kind of going smooth. I don't think he's going to be in trouble for a couple of weeks. His first performance, it's consistently okay for me. Like it's not the best, but it's okay. He's staying in his lane. He's doing what it does and it works. So I can't really fault him for that, but I would like some risks, like at some point. Is that too much to ask, Eric?
Probably.
Yeah, right now it's just he doesn't have any problems. Like he knows what he's doing. It's going well. I don't know. I honestly, I'll be honest. I gave both of his performance for this week. I gave them both B's. Did you share that sentiment, Eric?
I didn't hear any of that. You dropped out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I was just saying that for both of his performances, I gave them B's. Did you do the same?
Yeah, I'd give. No, I wouldn't. Sorry. No, I just cold out spook there. I'm gonna edit this part out for me. I would give his Sunday performance like a C and his Monday like a B+.
They're kind of the same, honestly. The second performance was a little bit like. It was something a little bit different, but it was like...
It had a little bit more energy to it, so I didn't hate it as much.
It took like a baby step away from like his trajectory, but it wasn't like a big step. It was kind of like walking a toe. But he's good. I don't really have anything negative to say about him. Like I said, there's not much to talk about because he's just kind of doing what he does, and it's kind of... It's working. It reminds it, like I said, it just reminds me of Scotty, where he's just gonna sail right on through like to the end, just doing what he does. Eric agrees with that.
I think there's a good chance of that happening. I'm not happy about it. I wasn't happy about it when Scotty was sailing through every week, but whatever.
Well, maybe you might feel a little bit better about Evelyn Cormier. Let's go performance by performance, I think. First up, she's performing The Middle by Jimmy Eat World. Eric, did Evelyn Cormier with her rock up-tempo song kind of wake you up from Lane Hardy?
Yes, but not in a good way. I was woken up, but not out of joy, out of like, oh God, please don't do this to this song.
I just wrote down in my notes, what are you doing, Evelyn? Like when I saw this song, when I saw that she was singing it, like this is a song that for me, like I remember listening to this way back, like when I was in high school and middle school, like this was a big, like it was a bop. Everyone would kind of sing it. And when I saw it, I was thinking she's going to switch it up. This is going to be like, she's going to do something different. I can't imagine this song is like a slow song, but maybe she could kind of make it work. But no,
I don't think that would have been better, but it wouldn't have been.
It would have been interesting. Like I would have been like, yeah, I would be interested.
I think this was interesting,
but no, she's saying it straight.
But her voice is interesting and not in a good way.
All right. I have a bit of a prediction, and I don't know if you agree, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say this was a bit of a bussing. I'm going to say that I don't know what happened because I don't understand her picking this. This is such a big step away from everything she has done all season. This is like if
it's a busing, it's an unnecessary busing. She was going regardless of what she did.
True, but maybe they just wanted to ensure that she goes home. I
don't think
because why would she?
I think the motivations of producers when the contestant is definitely safe or definitely going are very different. I don't think they had negative intentions for her because she was already got her.
But I can't see her picking this song for herself. It's such a step away. Maybe she had a different arrangement and it didn't fall into place. But if she picked this on her own accord, then yeah, she 100% deserved her fate. But yeah, I just have my notes. Trainwreck, but I love this song.
Okay.
What about you? Do you have do you have a grade for this performance?
No, her voice bugged me on both their songs, so I'll give her a C, I guess.
I give her a C minus.
C minus.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say stale, but it wasn't good.
This could have been something exciting, but honestly, I think Evelyn kind of was damned if she does, damned if she doesn't. Either way, I think this week kind of had her name kind of on the boot order.
Yep.
But her next performance, she goes with "Dust in the Wind" by Kansas. Are you familiar with this song, Eric?
Not really.
Yeah. I was listening to this, and when the judges, they were kind of giving her a bit of a send-off. I was like, oh, no.
Why you imagine? You didn't
like I would feel terrible.
Like, yeah. I mean, it's kind of mean when the judges are. It's kind of weird when the judges
you're going to have such a great career.
We're not nice to someone. It does kind of suck. Like Haley Reinhart got a lot of that. Like everyone else was getting like, gold star, A+, you're amazing. And then Haley would get, I didn't like it. I thought it was screechy. I'm like, fuck you.
With her, they said like, you're going to have a great career.
Well, that means see ya. That's a nice way of saying goodbye, Haley.
That's idle way of saying see ya.
Yep.
Poor girl. This was a bit of a step up from the Jimmy Eat World song. But yeah. This was not at all what she needed, and I gave her a B minus.
C minus. I still don't like her voice.
All right. Do you have any final thoughts for Evelyn Cormier? Do you want to eulogize her idol run? Do you have anything you want to say?
Don't speak ill of the dead.
All right. Well, let's move on.
You're the one who brought the eulogy metaphor into it, so I'm not gonna.
Let's talk about Alyssa Ragu, who of all the contestants, I have the most notes. I feel like that's how it always is. First up, she's performing "She Used to Be Mine" from Waitress, which is the Broadway play produced and with music. I think I don't know what it is. It has some connection to Sarah Bareilles, who I think just wrote the music. Eric, I'm going to toss it to you. What did you think?
I don't have very many notes for her, honestly. I said Sunday was a solid vocal. She was outclassed by people like Madison, Jeremiah, etc. Monday was another solid vocal. What happens to be the only Katy Perry song, one of like 3 songs by her that I actually like. Overall, I still have put through Ashley over Alyssa, given the chance, but
I'm glad that she at least made it through because I do still like her. She's on my draft, so I do like having her. But for me, when I saw this song, I was thinking, this is perfect. Like have you heard the first song? We're just for the "She Used to Be Mine." Have you heard the song before?
Not really.
So I love this song. Like, I love it. I've listened to so many covers of it. It's really like anything that Sarah Bareilles is associated with, I usually really enjoy. And I've heard so many people cover this song on YouTube or anywhere. And it's just a song that it pulls at your emotion. Like, this is a song like when you hear it, you can't like feel like it just brings something. You feel like a connection. Like, everyone has kind of felt the way that this song is kind of like presenting. And it's just, it drips with emotion. And every time it's like, I've heard it, it's like this really emotional thing. And for me, when I saw Alyssa performing it, she somehow managed to take this song and just miraculously like drain it of the emotion, which is so weird. Like, this is a song that you should like be crying at the end of. It's so beautiful and it's so like incredible. And I saw it on paper. I was like, this is ideal. Alyssa has like issues with kind of presenting the emotional aspects of a song. If you can't do this with this song, there's a really big problem going on.
So there's a really big problem?
A little bit, because I didn't believe Alyssa. Like, she's singing this song, and I don't believe that you experienced or feel what you're singing about. Like, it just kind of felt like she was singing it for the performance and not maybe for the emotion. It could have been so much bigger than what it was. And like I said, I don't know, maybe it was just because she was like afraid to go there, because this is a song. It has beautiful moments where you could show off your vocals, and she just didn't. And I don't know, like, it felt like she was holding back, and she was kind of a little bit like tensed up and maybe like afraid to kind of go there in this song. But I like that she's trying. This was a huge step forward in the song choice department. But yeah, such a big disappointment for me, because like I said, this could have been incredible. Like, this is such a beautiful song. I don't know. I'm ranting a little bit. Do you agree at all with what I'm saying?
I don't have enough thought. I didn't really have. The thing about it is, it didn't move me in either in a good way or a bad way. So I guess I agree with you, but I don't have as many thoughts about it because I was just bored.
That's why it's so weird to me, because I've never heard like a light version of this song. I have never heard something where it doesn't really bring you in. This is the first time that it just wasn't.
That's been Alyssa's problem for me with every single performance.
I don't know what she's missing. Maybe she just needs to like, maybe she's like afraid to be vulnerable in the songs, but I think she needs that. That's like what's missing from her. I gave her a B though. It wasn't a terrible performance, but this could have been an A, and that's how it is. For her second performance though, she does The One That Got Away by Katy Perry. You kind of shared your thoughts on it, Eric. Do you have any other things you want to share?
Nope, I have no more thoughts on Alyssa at all, honestly, for now.
All right, I just wrote down song choices, huge step forward, but she did 2 ballads this week, and
that's all she's capable of, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, this entire run up until this point has not been ballads. It's been up-tempo, kind of like dancing performances, which has me so worried for next week, because I believe that she is very, very much on thin ice, and
she's gone next week.
Unless she can get it together, which I hope.
I don't think even if she does get it together, she'll survive.
I don't know. My advice: just stay with ballads. Whatever anyone is whispering in your ear, just if there is, I don't know. I'm just guessing.
They don't care enough about her to whisper in her ear. What are you talking about?
I just don't want her back to messy up tempos. Like this is a small step forward, but everyone else is already like a mile ahead. Like, she's kind of got to pick up the pace, but. Yeah, I still gave her a B for The One That Got Away. I'm happy to still have her here. If not Ashley, at least we can have Ragu. All right, that's my thoughts on Alyssa. Any final thoughts on her?
Let's say farewell to the island.
Okay, let's talk about Eddie Island, who, man, I've just as many thoughts and notes for him as I did for Alyssa. The first thing, he is performing Benny and the Jets by Elton John. And I read this online. Someone else said it, so I'm kind of copying them, but I do agree. And that is that I'm going to demand justice. Eric, something has been done wrong, and I demand justice. Eric, I want to ask you, how many Muppets had to be skinned alive for that damn jacket? Somewhere on this,
damn it! You just ruined my episode title.
Somewhere on this planet, Kermit the Frog is hanging his head in shame as he watches
Damn it, Adam! Why can't you let me have an episode title for once?
I can't take full responsibility. I did see someone else commented that, but it did 100%.
Because it wasn't yours, we're not going to use it. But
how many Muppets, Eric? Miss Piggy's. No, not Miss Piggy. Who are the Muppets? Animals was one of them.
Animal and who else?
Well, they were. Not anymore.
Okay, let's just talk about.
All right.
I mean, Sunday was a train wreck. Plain and simple.
What in the Haley Reinhart was this?
Don't bring Haley Reinhart's name into this.
I'm banging my hand onto the desk, just thinking about the Muppets. But anyway, all I can say is, way to squander a really good opportunity, Eddie.
The thing is, we all knew this wasn't going to be good, but I don't think any of us knew how bad it would actually be.
I wrote in my notes, I'm not sure if this was a bust because I 100% would understand him picking this for him and thinking this was a good idea. I just, off the top of my head, I can think of so many singers. Ryan Hammond, even Logan Johnson. They're really good singers that were cut last round and the rounds before. And we got Eddie Island, who just kind of took it as a joke. And what I was thinking is they had this intro package where he's kind of talking about this really dark time when he was overweight. And during it, he's kind of giggling through it. And I think that is honestly the problem with Eddie Island. I think he's afraid of showing emotions. I think he's afraid of being vulnerable. And that is the problem. He's kind of presenting himself I'm not taking the what?
Here's my thing. You can finish your thought, but I have
go on. No, go on. Go on.
My thing is that I love Eddie's personality. I think he's really likable, really funny. But he needed to show that he could be serious, and he hasn't. And
I think he has a problem with it.
I think probably, yeah. I mean, I didn't even bother watching his Monday performance because the Sunday one was so bad. I just knew it was a goner. So,
like I said, he reminds me of the cool kid at a party who's not willing. I painted this before. It's like a magician is giving a performance and they pull a kid from the crowd, and the kid who's Eddie in this situation is kind of making fun of it, showing that he's not really into the joke. He's kind of making fun of the magician. He's not willing to kind of play along. And this is what kind of came across for me. And I just think, like I said, I think he has problems with feeling vulnerable. I think he went through something maybe that kind of made him feel this way. And that makes me a little bit upset because, like I said, if you're not willing to play along with the idol game, then what are you doing here? You're just kind of making a fool of the show. You're trying to, and it's not a good look.
I didn't take it that way at all. I didn't take him as insulting the show. I just took him as not knowing how to, not knowing what he should be doing. I didn't get to the point of him mocking the show.
I don't know. I was just thinking what are we doing here? What's going on? I don't know. Otherwise, I'm just looking. Yeah, for the performance itself, very awkward, very bad, very pitchy. This was as big of a mess as we're gonna get, I think, on this season of American Idol. I gave it a D. What about you?
Can I do a D plus because I'm a little bit nicer? Because I don't hate Eddie's personality.
All right, so how does it round out? If I give a D, you give a D plus. That's
We'll go with a nice route. Depends on what school system you're in, but I'm gonna give it a D plus overall.
I'm not budging. D.
Fine, you don't budge.
All right. Well, let's keep it going with his second performance of "Use Somebody" by Kings of Leon. Really quickly, I don't have that many notes. It was very pitchy and out of breath. I felt like he was shouting at me.
I didn't watch it, so NA.
All right. Well, NA. I give it a C minus.
Okay. Wow. Didn't miss much.
All right. Well, do you have any words to eulogize the island?
I'll miss the googly eyes.
I'm still not entirely unconvinced that this person who performed this week wasn't actually Eddie Island, and it was just one of the clones of Lovely the band.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's move on to Riley Thompson, the youngest contestant in the competition. She's performing "Suds in the Bucket." Correct me if I'm wrong. When was the last time this was performed on Idol?
I read somewhere that Kelly Pickler performed it, but I don't remember it at all.
All right. No, it was actually performed by Amelia Eisenhower and Katie Fickler, who I'm still a huge fan of Amelia. I still talk to her every now and then. What did you think about Riley's performance?
Not awful, nothing stellar.
Yeah, for me, someone else pointed this out, but this is just a throwaway performance. Exactly. Honestly, it's a song it's not gonna. Maybe it's a fun song to perform at like a concert or like a venue, but
I'm never gonna remember it. I forgot.
Yeah. What do you do with this song? Like, I don't know if maybe she was like I don't know what's going on here, but for me, like Riley is just she's not her own identity. Like she's just kind of imitating like other singers that have come before her. And it's just a problem because there's nothing special here. It's just maybe it's just because she's too young. Maybe there was the idea that I had that maybe the song was kind of like suggestive forced onto her. But did you get that vibe?
Suggestive force is a good word.
I like that word. I wrote it down. I was like, that's a good word.
That's my thoughts.
No thoughts. Suggestive force is your thoughts?
That's the only thought I have. Is that word was funny and I'm good. I don't like talking mean. I don't like being mean to children.
All right. Well, it wasn't terrible. I mean, it
was fine, but it just was forgettable.
Yeah, and I gave it a C+ though. What about you?
Yeah, I'd actually be nicer. I'd give it a B-. All
right. Well, what did you think about her second performance? It Must Be Love by Alan Jackson.
Did not watch it.
All right.
This was already cut.
This was a bit of an awkward moment for me because I was watching this and she starts singing this song and I'm thinking she totally picked this as like her victory lap song and not as the Save Me performance because it's like an up tempo, it's a smiley performance. It feels like a prom song a little bit almost, and it's yet another throwaway performance. She has no idea what she's doing. Like I don't know what's going on with her. But it was betterly sung. It was a
betterly sung.
Better.
Okay, that's the new episode title right now.
I gave her a B- though.
Okay.
Eric, and no grade from you?
Nope.
All right. Do you have any final thoughts to eulogize Riley Thompson's run on this season of American Idol?
Nope.
Fair enough. Let's move on to Wade Coda, who I feel like he took Ashley's spot, honestly.
He waded his way right into the top 10.
He is performing Trouble by Ray LaMontague. What did you think, Eric?
Solid B, not an A, not a C. I am still shocked that he was in the top 7. I'm shocked, honestly.
We've kind of gotten to a point for me, at least, with Wade, where his voice is kind of making me wince when he sings. I don't know. It's like he talks about it because he was like a metalhead, like in high school or something, where he was very into. Yeah, he was very into like screaming music.
Still be that? That was interesting. That would be interesting at least.
But it's kind of painful to listen to for me.
Virgil, I'm not quite at that point yet, but close. So
I'm at that point a little bit. I'm like going like this a little bit, like at times, like I don't know.
That was me with Evelyn. So
it just I feel like he's hurting his throat, like to make the sounds. Like he's got to like be doing something in his. I don't know. This performance though, it was a B. It was sang well, but I don't know where he goes in this competition. We went into this
next week or the week after.
I was thinking like performance-wise.
Well, performance-wise, I don't know what he does, but I know he's gone next week or the week after, so that's fine to know.
Did you enjoy his second performance of Simple Man by Leonard Skinner a little bit more?
Nope, because Trent Harmon did that song better.
This song has been performed like so many times on these shows. Lita Wise did a cover of it. No?
Yeah, I think Lee might have. I don't know.
No, he did. I remember him doing it.
Yeah, Lee did it. I remember. I don't remember what I did.
Yeah, I loved before he sang. He says into the mic, "This is torture." It's like
what do you think?
He said, "This is torture," which kind of the same for me a little bit. Wade.
You know what? Kudos to Wade. He that line alone puts him in my top 7.
And I kind of agree, Wade. I gave it a B though. Also, his second performance. All right, let's keep it going to another contestant. I think we're going to have a bit to talk about. It is
I have a little bit for Monday, not for
all right.
Sunday.
Demetrius Graham performing Perfect by Ed Sheeran. I wrote down that on paper, this sounds great. Like what he did, he took the song, he did it in kind of like an artsy direction where he kind of like made it kind of different. And I kind of liked it. Did you, Eric?
I thought Sunday was okay, but parts were a bit screamy for me.
I blame the sound mix.
Sunday was much worse than Monday for me. The song choice was the problem on Sunday. Monday I thought was excellent.
I thought there was a problem with the song mix. I was thinking maybe he couldn't hear himself because
I don't know. Could be.
You know, I got to tell you, I really enjoyed this performance. Like I really liked how he flipped it up. I also love that there was like a tapping in the background, which is like, I was kind of like grooving with. I was like, yeah, I like this. It was like so simple. I like what he did. I like that he's someone who takes risks, but his problem is that his risks don't usually land. And that I think is the big problem. Like I encourage that he's going to try these things, but opera doesn't belong on American Idol. Like, some things that you try maybe are better left as just ideas, honestly. But I appreciate that he's one of those contestants who's trying. I love this song. I still love this song, even though it's been played at every single wedding ever. But I appreciate Demetrius. I gave him a B. How about you?
Sunday, I'd give him a B-.
All right. Well, his second performance is When the Party's Over by Billie Eilish. Are you familiar with the song? A lot of people are talking about it.
Never heard it before.
Me neither. What did you think?
One note was a bit shaky, but other from that one note, I'd say it was pretty much amazing. I would honestly give it an A overall.
Very good. When he started, he had like, when he just started the song, there was like a moment where he took a breath and there was like a quiver in his voice. I was like, oh, no.
That was the note, probably.
What?
That was probably what I was referencing. One note was a bit shaky, but
no, it was like right at the start where he was like, you could feel the nerves like in his, like when he just was doing that, but he recovered very nicely. I can't deny this. He deserved a wild card. Like I'm upset a little bit because as he finished, I was like, I think Ashley's done. Like, I think they're going to give him the wild card and it's not going to go to her. And I'm not.
Oh, she was before him, right? Okay.
Yeah. So I was thinking like this is bad, but it was a very good performance. I give it a B+ though. I think he just needs to work on his consistency with the performances because I could see him being in big trouble next week. Him and Alyssa Ragu, I think, have a big target on their backs.
You see, I think Uche was the one who's going to go with Alyssa, not Demetrius.
I don't think Uche. Uche was the Ada Vox. Like. I
know exactly.
It's funny how they kind of like followed the same pattern of the wild cards
the next week. Remember?
Yeah. No, Ada Vox.
No,
last season. No, they did longer cuts. So it was.
Yeah, 3 went home that next week, and Ada was one of them.
Maybe Ada would have been the one who got saved.
Highly doubt it.
All right. Other final thoughts on Demetrius?
Not really.
Let's talk about a contestant who Eric is going to have a lot to talk about. Madison Vandenberg. Let's talk first off about the big performance of her week. Fallen by Alicia Keys. What'd you think?
Finally, people online seem to like the performance as much as they should have. But for me, honestly, it wasn't significantly better than she always is, because she's always the best contestant for me each round by a mile. For me, no one's even close. Amazing voice, great presence, seems lovely. I wanted her to win. I voted. But here's my rant time. Ready? Because the only thing I did not like about performance was fucking Luke and Lionel's microphones being turned on. So every time I listen to the downloaded version I have to hear them talk. Why? Either give us studio recordings or shut the judges up. One or the other. You can't. Ugh. I'm pissed about it. It literally drives me crazy every time they do it.
I don't mean to be like, I'm just having this picture in my head of Regina George from Mean Girls with the gif, with her face. It's like about studio versions. Like, studio versions are not going to happen. Stop trying. I wish studio versions could happen, but I don't think we're going to get them.
Then at least shut the freaking judges up.
But then how are the audience going to know what they're thinking, Eric? How are they going to know who to vote for?
The judges can talk after the fucking performance. I'm sorry. This really pisses me off when they do it.
Posh.
And I'm pissed because this was supposed to be like the first live show, and they're not supposed to do it anymore. Remember? That's how it went last season? Bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm just pissed about it.
All right. Well, that aside, going back to Madison herself, I wrote down in my notes this week
We just earned that explicit tag, by the way, with that rant.
This week, a lot of contestants, I think, took a step back. A lot of contestants took a step back. Madison is, I believe, the only one who took a big leap forward. She went like a big thing. Like, she is back in the running, in my opinion. From that first note, I was ready. I was like, I'm going to sit back in my seat and Madison is going to sing something incredible. Did you notice, by the way, that both of these songs were Haley Reinhart performances that she did during her season? I was feeling a lot of Haley Reinhart this episode.
I did not notice that, but yeah, makes sense. I mean, Madison's got an amazing voice.
She's pulling from someone good.
She is. She's picking the right songs.
If I have one gripe, which I do have with Madison's performance, I would have given this an A. I couldn't give it. I gave it an A- in the end.
What? Did you give anyone an A?
I think I gave one person an A. Two people got A's, actually. 2 A's.
And Madison wasn't one of them?
Because if she had stayed by the piano.
Oh my God, Adam. Just give it an A. It was perfect.
No, I can't because I don't know why.
Okay. Adam's wrong, everybody. That's the episode title.
Let me explain, and then you could say why I'm wrong. But I don't know what it is with contestants. This happened a bit with Jax on her season, where I don't know if there's someone like saying you got to get up from the piano, you got to sing to the audience, but stay by the piano. Piano singers do not get up. Like, I don't know why this is a thing that people are doing on the show, but maybe it's because there's like awkwardness that they think of being by the piano. No, stay there. Do not move. Madison, you stay by the piano. Don't get up.
Stay by the piano for other performances.
But this could have been like, I wanted her to be there. It worked because I don't know, but I still loved it. Like, I love this performance. I think Madison is 100% back in the running to maybe win this show. But just a note from me moving forward, I would like stay by the piano. Don't feel compelled to get up, no matter who's whispering in your ear. Just stay by the piano. It's your magic by the piano. Just stay there.
Nope. Do songs on the piano, but mix it up. Show that you're versatile.
Yeah.
Ignore everything Adam just said, basically. Anyway.
Wow. I didn't think it was that bad.
You gave it an A-. What was better?
A few people we'll talk about in a minute.
No one was better. Sorry.
I don't know. Other notes for me, this worked. She felt like the aggression. Like, this is a song that you could kind of interpret a few ways. Like, she kind of took it with like aggression a little bit, I feel. Like, where maybe she's like angry, like that she keeps falling. Like, I like it. I was getting the vibe from it. Her second performance, You and I by Lady Gaga, super, super awkward intro. Like, I don't know if she was confused with what was going on, but she gets told that she's safe.
Everyone was confused. That was not her fault at all.
Why didn't they show the contestants like the previous season when this episode airs? Like, they should do that, like, before each episode. Like, here's how it's gonna work. Watch this episode.
Yeah, that was confusion. I don't blame her for that one at all.
Yeah,
I will say, all things considered, it was still a really solid vocal, considering she was confused and crying and all that stuff. But yeah, it could have been an A. It was just a B.
Yeah, I think the emotions kind of got the best of her, but still very solid. Madison is consistently solid. She's not like the Anthony's where it's consistently okay. She's consistently like towards the upper echelon. I give her a B+ for this. I think, though, she will be in trouble if she falters at one point. She's one of those contestants that I could see her consistently needing to deliver A+ performances, and I feel like once she doesn't, she's going to be in big trouble. But I think she's up for it. I think she can do it and deliver those performances. I'm excited for Madison Vandenberg. A little bummed now I didn't get her in my draft, Eric.
You didn't deserve her in your draft. If I win with her, I can be as happy as you were with Maddie last year.
Well, it's pretty high prize stakes. I love Madison. I love this. That fall-in performance is one of the best of the week. Otherwise, should we keep it going?
Let's talk about the only other person who I actually could see myself paying to see live now.
All right. Jeremiah Lloyd Harmon performing "We All Fall in Love Sometimes" by Elton John. I wrote down another winner here from Jeremiah. This was the performance I gave an A, Eric, of this episode. Very, very strong. I like that this was the first time that I think he took a song where it kind of went to the next level. Like his songs that he's done so far have kind of been like, it's kind of stayed at a certain level. This one kind of it amped up towards the end, and I really enjoyed it. What did you think?
I didn't think it was as good as you thought it was. I thought it was great. I didn't think it was a true moment. I'm still waiting for Jeremiah to have his actual real moment on the stage because I know he has it in him, but it hasn't happened yet. I am still really happy that I picked him first in the draft. He's really, really great. And if Madison doesn't win, he has to, for me.
Right now, he's kind of in the Dalton spot from the X Factor UK. He's consistently at the top. Like he's week after week, he's in my number one.
Like Jeremiah. I think comparing him to Dalton's a little bit blasphemy.
Well, on this level, like relatively speaking, I think he is the closest thing to a Dalton contestant that we've gotten.
And then he is still really far. But anyway, go.
All right. I was sorry. I enjoy Jeremiah. I consistently enjoy him. I don't know what the thing is, I don't want to like suggest he take a risk and do something kind of crazy because you could burn goodwill very quickly on American Idol. So maybe just stick to what's working is my advice. It was cool that he got an Elton John shout out. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's talk about his second performance. Almost Heaven, an original. Did you enjoy this one also?
You know, it's his audition song too.
Yes, it was his audition song.
I loved it. I wish he picked something different and new, but honestly, I didn't care because it's such an amazing song. So I didn't mind hearing it again.
I think he's going to be in here in this competition for the long haul. I still believe that we are going to get a final two of Jeremiah and Lacey. I think that's what the trajectory this season might be heading on, with Lane finishing in third.
That would be the best and the worst for me.
I would be okay with it. I think those two are.
I mean, I'd be okay with Jeremiah there, but Lacey, I can't get behind her. I'm sorry.
For me, those are the two favorite. They are the standouts. They are the ones that I have the biggest eye on. I think they're the ones who could go the distance this season.
Okay.
All right. I gave his second performance an A-. How about you, Eric?
I gave it an A.
Whoa.
Which I can do because I also gave Madison an A.
All right. Well, let's talk about Uche performing Finesse by Bruno Mars. Was this the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, that we ever had a dance break mid-performance?
I know, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty nice. I will say that Uche is now, I wrote this before Ashley was cut, by the way. I wrote Uche has now officially replaced Ashley in my personal top 3 after this performance. Amazing presence.
Ashley was in your top 3?
Until this week. She plummeted this week. We'll get to her. She plummeted this week hard. But he's got amazing presence. His voice is pretty good. You know who he reminds me of, actually, now that I think about it? Floriste. Not the best voice, but good enough and an amazing entertainer.
He is the energy of this season. Like, he is a lot of the contestants this season kind of don't have the energy, and it's all kind of just like been poured into like Uche. Like there's someone with like a bottle of energy just going, like, it's all going into him. I really enjoy his performance. Always, I consistently enjoy him. How did he not make it? He was one of those contestants where I thought he would solidly make it into the next round, but he needed a wild card.
Because he's gay and he's the Ada Vox of the season.
Yeah, he's got this talent where he dances and it doesn't ruin his vocals. Like that. Not since Jennifer Lopez lip syncing. That's the only way I've ever seen.
You were about to say Jennifer Lopez without the lip syncing.
I've only seen that with that. Like how he does it really well. Like it doesn't mess up his vocals. He's not out of breath. I feel like he could run a mile like just right after the performance. Like he's just like so full of energy. I give it a B+, honestly.
I'd give it a B+ as well.
Yeah, but he, like I said, he does not make it into the top. They keep saying it's the top 10, but it's actually the top 7, which was bothering me really a lot.
Bothered me a little bit too, but whatever.
He performs Diamonds by Rihanna. I've heard a lot of renditions of this song. How did it measure up for you, Eric?
Not great. I prefer high energy stuff from him. It was good. It was good enough. Yeah.
This kind of whole moment was basically copy and pasted from last season.
Exactly.
A little bit.
It was identical.
Like
it was a not amazing performance from someone who has previously been amazing, being treated as if it was absolutely amazing, and then being rushed into the top 10.
I don't know. I kind of feel like all the wild cards were kind of copy and pasted, like how they were kind of done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which, you know, they deserved it, but it does kind of feel a little bit like, first of all, they kind of like were pretending like this never happened before. Like they were doing this incredible thing. And I honestly, I saw this coming, honestly. I was like, they're totally going to like do as a judge's table, we overrule to give it, we are going to give you an executive order. You're going to the top 10. But no, it was just Lionel kind of gives him the wild card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever.
It was okay though. I gave him a B. But
I B as well.
I think you mentioned Ada Vox. I think he's going to continue on that Ada Vox trajectory. Top 6 max, honestly.
I agree, and that's really sad because he's really good.
All right. We've got how many more contestants? We got 4 more contestants. There's a lot of contestants this night.
Honestly, none of them I'm particularly excited about except for
Walker. Whoa. We gotta talk about Lacey. But first, Alejandro Aranda. And whoa. Well, I have some notes about him. He is performing One Dance by Drake, and he does this really, I'm going to call it unique kind of setup where he does it with like full DJ setup. Like it was kind of cool. Like,
yeah, the idea was really cool. Problem was his voice was super weak, like always, but even like weaker than usual for me. I basically like everybody else better than him.
It's weird for me to not be as high on Alejandro because I've consistently like been so championing him, but this is the prediction that I kind of had and I was worried about, and it turns out to be true. This is like the emperor has no clothes. Like this is gonna go. What?
He can't sing.
No, I think he is a singer that's kind of his style is kind of more like smaller, like it's kind of like campfire like music, which I enjoy and I really love, but I don't think it translates to kind of the big stage. And I think his mindset is, okay, I've gone small with my performances, I need to go big, I need to do something exciting. So I can appreciate the risk, but if this is a showing of what his idol run is looking like from this point on, I think it's going to go south really quickly.
If it doesn't, we have a problem because honestly, he would be the weakest voice person to ever win American Idol, and I don't want that to happen.
Which is such a shame because I really enjoy Alejandro, and I really hope he can bounce back. But this is kind of a mess. Like
if I still had my sign, I'd be holding it up right now.
Yeah, I gave him a B-, which is the lowest I've given him all season, and it's just his performance was really awkward. And the thing is, I think this week that people saw this performance, and I believe he probably got a huge burst of votes just because people were worried he's going to be in trouble. And I think that is going to start to wear thin really quickly. And I think he could be in trouble as early as top 6 week, honestly.
I hope so. Honestly, I would give it a C, and upgrading it from the D level vocal only because it was a risk.
I'm not that low on him.
I am, honestly. His voice is just not good enough.
I hope he can recover from this. I hope.
See how he can, because this is the one thing you could have done to get me invested, and it failed. So
this is one of the reasons that I don't want the big, giant stadium performances for the audition. I like that we start small because I think he is one of those contestants that would have gotten swallowed even in his audition. First of all, I find those big auditions.
And guess what? If he couldn't do it, he shouldn't have gone through.
I disagree. First of all, I feel that those live like crowd performances I always find so fake. Like in the audition rounds, I get when it translates to the big stage.
If you can't perform in front of a crowd, then you can't perform in front of a crowd.
No, you could perform in front of a crowd like in Hollywood Week. There's a lot of people there, but like I feel the audition it lets contestants like Alejandro shine. And I think the problem is when it kind of translates to the big stage, but at least at least let him have that chance.
I couldn't disagree more because whatever. I just couldn't because the thing is, if you're gonna screw up eventually, and you can figure that out from first audition, why wouldn't you? Why would you lead him on if he's gonna die? If he's gonna be screwed up eventually?
I just really hate those live. They feel so fake. They feel like.
But fine, then make it not fake, but still put him in front of an audience.
There's no way to make it not fake because they just some of those auditions like kind of make me like squirm a little bit because it's just you're judging people like on the uncomfortableness of standing in front of like thousands of people and they're probably like scared out of their mind and like you're gonna
but if they can't do it, then they can't do it.
All right, this is just going to be a point we don't agree on, but let's talk about his original song. Cholo Love is that what it was called?
I don't know.
Yeah, I wish a part of me wishes he had done Out Loud, but I guess maybe he's kind of saving it in his back pocket, which I think is the smart move. This wasn't the best, but it was a better performance than the first one. I gave it a B though. What about you?
C.
Whoa. I don't think it was that bad.
It was the same as all of his other performances for me.
All right. Well, let's.
I'm being generous with that C, by the way.
Well, let's keep it going and talk about another contestant. This is going to be the somber point of this episode for me. It's Ashley Hess performing "Fix You" by Coldplay. All I wrote, the first line I wrote, Eric is going to hate me for this line, but I'm going to say it anyway. At least she stayed by the piano.
Whatever.
What did you think about her performance, Eric?
I've heard Kelly Clarkson sing this song. Ashley is no Kelly Clarkson.
Go on.
Not even close. Ashley sounded fine on this, but I was bored, honestly. And by the end, I wasn't surprised at all that she was cut after it.
I wish
it was very boring for a song that has a lot of energy behind it usually. And I was falling asleep. I'm sorry.
I feel like she should have done the Waitress song. That would have been like they should have switched, honestly.
No, honestly, if she ever I think this was the right song choice, but the execution was awful.
The thing is with Ashley, I think we underestimate that her voice might be a little bit more limited than we might think it is.
That's my thing. This showed how limited her voice is. Because if she could have hit bigger notes on it, she would have. Because it's a song to hit bigger notes on.
When she did the Norah Jones song in the audition, it's like it doesn't have the big notes. It's kind of like this simple, like quiet voice, and
that's why she plummeted for me this week.
Yeah, because she can't. Maybe she just can't hit the fix you notes. Like these have big, like huge notes that are kind of like the big moments, like the glory notes. But she's not Maddie Poppy, is all I can really say, and that makes me sad because I really wanted to enjoy her. I think the biggest problem for her was that she just suffered from being invisible. Like they didn't show her Hollywood Week. People kind of just had other favorites. Mm-hmm. And for me personally, I just think I set the bar too high for her, and that makes me a little bit upset. But I still have Lacey to continue on with. Yeah, I give her a B.
Okay.
And then she follows it up the following night with Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder, and I just wrote in my notes, "Why this song, Ashley? No, what are you doing?"
I didn't watch it.
This was a corny, like she should not have ever picked this song, ever. Okay. I don't know why she did. It was like dripping. This song, performance is just dripping with why. Like, why, Ashley? No, you're going down a path I can't follow. Don't go into the light, Ashley. I see what's happening. All right. Well, let's keep it going. Otherwise, well, do you want to eulogize Ashley? Otherwise,
nope.
Well, I will just say that I really, really enjoyed her time on American Idol. I'm upset it came to an end so quickly, but you gave us some good performance, Ashley, and I enjoyed you. All right. Well, let's keep it going with two performances left. Two contestants, I mean. Lacey K. Booth performing I Miss You by Blink-182. And I can tell Eric is gonna be giving me some bad eyes in just a second, but I love this performance. Like I love this performance. Absolutely. I'm not even joking. I love this. I love that she has the courage to take a song like this and Stop laughing at me, Eric, because I gave it an A, damn it.
What?
I gave it an A.
What? I gave it a C minus.
Really? She does not deserve a C minus, even if you find her sleeping.
Parts of it were actually irritating to me. Parts of the vocal were like irritating me, honestly. The breaks in her voice were just pissing me off on this.
Wow.
Okay.
I can't disagree. It makes me feel a little bit better to know that I still have Lacey in this competition, because the violin clicking in the background, I think it was the violin. There was like a clicking sound. I loved it. I loved this performance. This is the performance that I've watched the most for rewatching of this 2 weeks. Eric is going to laugh when I ended up giving it an award a little later on.
No, I'm not gonna laugh. I know you're crazy sometimes. It's okay. It's okay. We can all be crazy sometimes.
I think the reason that people aren't appreciating it as much is because it's not a modern song. It's a very old song. Like it's for me at least. No, it's because like she took a song that maybe, this is going to be so awkward, but like the people who are watching this show are too young to have maybe known this song. Like
that's not the problem though.
I don't know. No, because like
I didn't like it.
If she had taken like a new Ed Sheeran song or a new Bruno Mars song,
either. It's her voice that bugs me. It's not
be nice to Lacey. She's my favorite contestant.
I'm glad.
Left.
I'm glad you at least like her, because that makes it a little bit less painful for me than when she has to keep going through. Because at least somebody likes her, so I don't have to, say like there's no reason for her to keep going through.
I love the lilting voice. I love her smokiness. Everything about Lacey, I absolutely love. A for me. Eric is a C minus.
C minus.
Her second performance, though, As Long As You Follow by Fleetwood Mac. This would have been a really bad Save Me song if she had not made it. But it was short, sweet, and to the point. I gave it a B.
Here's the thing about that. It was better for me because it didn't put me to sleep. So I'll give that one a C+.
Oh.
Monday at least didn't put me to sleep. I wrote, so good job, question mark, is what I wrote on my notes.
Well, you said the exact same thing about Maddie Poppy last season. So,
I did.
I love Lacey. I continue to love her. I'm so happy she's my number one draft pick. And I will be having the final laugh when it is the finale podcast of Adam's TV podcast. And I have the crown on, and I've just won with Lacey, who has inevitably beat would she beat Jeremiah? I don't know. She'll win.
If she wins, guess what happens? It'll also be the series finale of Adam's TV podcast, quite possibly.
Really?
I'm not sure I'll be able to keep watching Idol if she wins. Because that would be 2 years in a row where someone I have no interest in ever seeing wins.
All right. Well, I really like her. All right, let's move on to our final contestant.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to quit on Idol. I'll be really disappointed, but I'm not going to quit.
Let's talk about Walker Burroughs performing from The Sound of Music. Climb Every Mountain. What'd you think, Eric?
Solid performance, not a moment, but solid. I have no thoughts on the Sunday performance. The Monday performance, actually, I have more thoughts on.
Yeah, this is a song that's kind of dripping with like cheesiness and like something that like it's kind of, it feels like, what's the word? Like a pageant song a little bit, where it's like
very, very much so. That's a perfect way of describing it, actually.
But he sang it well. Like it wasn't a bad performance. It was okay. But like, I don't know where you're going, Walker, with this. Like he's consistently reminding me, funnily enough, of Anthony Russell. Do you get that vibe a little bit, Eric?
I'm getting it. Very consistently solid, but never amazing. I will say Monday was closer for me than Sunday to being actually a good performance, to being a great performance.
Like it's well sang. Like he has a fine voice,
very nice tone.
But I'm grasping at straws for like, where's the depth? Like what am I seeing here? Like there's something missing here that's like kind of taking it to the next level, and he's just consistently like he's stagnated kind of at like this. Like he went high and then it's just.
Here's the thing for me though. the Monday performance, the first part was like the typical, like, boring Walker performance. When it kicked up a gear at the end, I was actually really enjoying it.
I disagree. I felt he almost got a little swallowed by it.
I disagree. I thought the second half of Monday's performance was the first time I actually like got a little bit invested in him all season, personally, because it woke me up.
All right, well, let's talk about his final performance of "Love Bug" by the Jonas Brothers, which is a song. I feel like that meme of the woman from Titanic going, "It's been 84 years." Since I have heard this song, at least for me, this was like when I was growing up.
I don't remember the song at all, honestly.
Were you a fan of his second performance, Eric?
I said I was.
All right. Well, I liked it too. It was fun. It was like an up tempo. Sometimes I like to have fun watching American Idol.
No, I was talking about the second performance the entire time, basically.
Oh, well. Then I guess I liked it. It was good. Like it was fun, high energy.
That was really great for me.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about the first performance.
No, not the first one. I was talking about the second one.
That's awkward.
Yeah, the second one, the second half of Love Bug was the first time I actually got invested in him.
Oh, well.
Can you agree with that at least?
Yeah, a little bit. I enjoy Walker. I don't hate him. It's just, where do we go from here is all I can really say. Like, I don't know. But that is kind of our coverage of these contestants. I gave Walker a B for both of them, honestly.
I gave him a B for the first one. I gave him an A- for the second.
Whoa. That's what I gave Madison.
Yeah, because you're wrong.
All right. Well, so we come to the end of our coverage for this week. This is a really long week. I'm happy it's going to slow down a little bit at this point. We're kind of going to get into the nitty-gritty of the competition. Who got the golden, what was the term again, Eric?
Golden noodle.
Who got the golden noodle for you?
Who do you think got the golden noodle for me? Madison
was it Lacey?
No. Lacey got the brown turd.
Oh my God, this is going to be... I gave Lacey the golden noodle for I Missed You by Blink-182. There, I said it.
Congratulations. Okay. I gave Madison the golden noodle. What would you give your brown turd to?
Benny and the Jets.
You know what? I will say that Benny and the Jets was worse.
Was worse?
Than Lacey's, yes.
Well, at least we have that. All right. Well, that is going to be... This was a really long discussion, but do you have any final things you want to touch on moving forward? Any final thoughts from the episode?
Not really. I'm excited for product placement week. That should be fun.
I enjoy Disney Week. Last week it was a lot of fun.
Last year it was great. Yeah, I mean, it's product placement out the wazoo, but it's fun.
Sometimes we like to have fun on American Idol. This was. I'm hoping for Lacey. Who at this point, Eric, would be in your top 3 personal favorite contestants of the season?
Super easy. Madison number 1, Jeremiah number 2, Uche number 3.
I would say Lacey. Personally, just because I do still enjoy her a little bit. Alyssa. She's not just a personal, like she is like the Brendan of this season, like when on the X Factor.
She's your little inchworm. Okay.
She's my little inchworm where I'm just gonna be like, I always have this. There's like the one.
I know you do.
I always, when I watch American Idol, there's always 2 contestants I root for, like a personal favorite and a favorite that I believe actually could win. So that's kind of where those contestants are.
Who's your third favorite?
It was Alejandro, but he's kind of fallen off the map. I guess I'll go with a safe bet and go with Jeremiah, I think.
Okay, at least that one's fair.
And can Alyssa survive next week, Eric?
No.
I'm gonna go cry in a corner now because of Ashley. All right. Well,
okay.
I am Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox or on my 2 websites, adamsoapbox.com and adamcvblog.com. Where can we find you, Eric?
EricAscher.com, EricAscher01 on YouTube, and Twitter.com/Eric_Ascher.
And not at a Lacey concert.
That's another place you won't find me. That's where you will not find me.
I'll be there, Lacey.
You will find me at lots of other concerts. Did you look up Lewis Black, by the way?
I didn't. How did you enjoy the comedy? What do you call it? A performance?
It was a comedy show. Lewis Black was hilarious. He did this amazing bit about 2-day free shipping and how it was the complete opposite of everything I expected him to open a show with. It was perfect.
All right, Eric, any final things you want to touch on? Anything else?
Nope.
All right, well, then I guess this was a sort of very long discussion. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed speaking with you. Otherwise, I guess we're going to sign off for the night. We will be back.
Disagreements.
Until next week, disagreements. Guys, this was fun. We'll see you next time. Peace. Vote for Lacey.